So we have seen on a company like Capital One, we have seen on which is a very big bank. Then we see on a company like SolarWinds, and then we see on a company like JBS. So this is where we are. So JBS paid 11 million for ransom. So the general issue is that there is a calculation which happens that if you don't pay the ransom, you have to come back to your old operations through whatever systems you are aware of, and it takes a long period of time. So the amount of ransom paid, they find that it is sensible rather than getting into an exercise which becomes more tedious and can take more amount of money or can force you to spend a larger amount of money. So this is the world's largest meat producer, 1/5 of the world production. There's absolutely no reason that they will not get into all the requirements of cyber security. They will get into nearly each and every one of those. But unfortunately, the understanding of the ecosystem, the focus we give to every single element, as Steve Jobs used to say, there is nothing minor or major. Everything is equally important of those 1,000 elements which make the system run. Might be at his time and age, might be in the physical world, it was not true. But in today's digital world, where interdependence, interoperability, and large number of systems coming together, I don't think there's anybody today who can claim to provide complete cloud security. So that is where we are. And the whole thing is divided into large number of areas, and they become specialized areas. So access itself has become a service. So somebody is there who will provide you the access, hand it over to DarkSide, hand it over to Revil, and then they will go through the system, and then they will do what they are supposed to do. So there are experts who provide you only access, and after access, it is left to the next organization or the next element to take it further. So access as a service. When people talk of ransomware as a service, inside ransomware, there are a variety of things which do work independently. How it happens? So 4,000 attacks between 2012 and 2021. So when these attacks were studied, it was found that it starts with workable intelligence. So somebody creates the workable intelligence regarding the potential victims, access points, and it is given to hacking experts. These are the hacking experts who provide the initial access. Why I'm getting into this whole life cycle of a ransomware attack? Because the audience, the companies who would be listening to us, will be part of this program. They should know all these details because, God forbid, they can also get attacked by ransomware. And once attacked by ransomware, things become very, very difficult to retrace until you pay the ransom. So it's better that you understand the precautionary methods, the systems by which they gain entry, and how you can prevent or take abundant precaution that these issues does not happen. Any attack of this nature will happen when there is access gained and the adversary is inside your system for quite some time, trying to fathom out which data is important, which data is required, what to do with that data, whether to pick up that data, leak that data, encrypt that data, or do varieties of activities on that data, because that data is extremely important to you and can bring you to your knees. Then escalating the access privileges. This is all happening after you are inside the system. Search for data which can do the maximum damage. It's like a terrorism sort of a thing. You do a terror act to create maximum amount of fear. It can take to a level of a fear psychosis where the whole population is literally scared of you. And you can think of any of the great terror organizations. So you search for a data, we can do the maximum damage when stolen or held for ransom, because you will pay only when the data can do maximum damage to you, and then it is given over to the attack launchers. And then the attack launch happens, ransomware is deployed, locking organizations out of their own data. Then there is another threat today. Earlier, they only encrypted the data. Now they pick up that data and put it on leak websites in the dark net. There are websites which are known as the leak websites. And then they talk of press release to frighten the victim. So this is the whole gamut This is the whole life cycle, and the payment is to be done in cryptocurrency, as I have told earlier. And cryptocurrency, there are ways and means where it can be converted and laundered into fiat currency. Fiat currency is the currency which all of us use. So the personas thus are spammers, phishers, initial access brokers, ransom attackers, hiring ransomware as a service, brokers, dark marketeers, monetizers. So these are the elements which make a ransomware happen. Ransomware today is the biggest cyber crime. It is most dangerous. It can bring your company, it can bring to system, critical infrastructure, governance, anything to its knees. And it can also lead to deaths in case if it attacks. Say, there was a case in Germany where there was a ransom attack on the hospital, and the ambulance had to go another 30-40 kilometers, and the person died in transit, and that is supposedly the first ransomware death in the world. So Revil is this organization. It is a ransomware gang operating out of Russia, and Revil is primarily ransomware evil. So R comes from there. Evil is where it is, and it is connected to dark side. Earlier, might be it was something like SodoQB. So what is the Russian-based ransomware? And if we move further, we see that they have a clear-cut modus operandi. So they publish the information on a page, happy blog, unless the ransom is paid. And there was also a case where they attacked a supplier of Apple and stole confidential schematics of their upcoming products. So now they're getting into design, they're getting into intellectual property, and then it becomes a sale of intellectual property. And it is said, if I'm not mistaken, nearly 36 or 38%, these criminal gangs come back again, and there is a second ransomware attack. In January 2022, the Russian Federal Security Service said that they had dismantled Revil. So there was a meeting of US and European Union and 30 odd other countries, and they said that Revil has to be dismantled, and there needs to be an international collaboration in our fight against ransomware. So ransomware has become a global fight. January 2022, Russia says that we have dismantled Revil. I don't know in which way, in which manner it will come up again, or it has already come up in the darknet. I have absolutely no idea. But for the time being, it is officially and legally claimed that Revil is dismantled. There are also on the other side organizations and companies which we supposed to propagate. There's a Romanian cybersecurity company called Bitdefender. Bitdefender was able to create a free universal decryptor for Revil and other ransomware recover of encrypted files. SodoQB and Revil. So all files which they have been able to encrypt. So this particular decryptor will be able to decrypt those files if they were encrypted before July 13, 2021. And because of this particular software or the decryptor, nearly 1,400 companies were able to avoid paying nearly 550 million in ransom. When we talk of ransom, I think around 90% of the ransom goes to some 80, 90 of these criminal gangs, and 50% or 60% of the ransom goes to some 15 of these gangs. So this is the scenario in which you are in. We are not getting into the smaller cyber crimes. Smaller cyber crimes you are aware of. You know the target areas, you know critical infrastructure. BFSI is also critical infrastructure. So you broadly know what we are talking about. So if this is the scenario, at the individual level, what you can do. So today also, it is a weak password and a default password, which is creating problem at the individual level and also at the level of biggest of the companies. Sony Productions face the same thing. I think in SolarWinds also there was an issue. And then we are not trying to understand that we are not one isolated system. We are connected to large number of systems. So we have to take care all our interfaces to a level which we are convinced that it is safe. End user didn't think before clicking. So we had a German steel. I think there was a phishing mail. The person clicked the phishing mail, and the whole system was compromised. After I think 15 days or something, they blasted the 4 blast furnaces. So this is where we are. Insecure configuration. I don't think we even look into it. And legacy of unpatched hardware and software. This we find in the SolarWinds case also. Even when they came to know of it, they did not do couple of actions which is supposed to take in the first few days. And that led to other series of problems. Lack of network security, we don't know. We won't think of it. We think routers, we think modems, we think switches. So they are dead element. They are as much of a computer as any other part of a computer system or a digital system is. So we have to start to build a risk-aware culture. As of now, we don't have a risk-aware culture. Cyber security till today is a lip service and a task ticking game. So once you tick, so these are the work to be done, so it is done. Automate security hygiene and manage incidents with intelligence and protect the network and endpoints. I am an endpoint, though it is a part of a whole network. What I do on this system can impact my whole organization, literally to a level where it can be decimated. Target CEO, I think he was removed long many years back because the nature of attack, because of the nature of the attack. So return of investment, which the companies are looking for in cyber security, does not make sense. Return on investment in cyber security is that you will not be decimated, you will not go out of business. So broadly today, in a remedial side, individuals have a role to play, corporates have a role to play, and governments have to do a role to play. All of them need technical understanding. All of them need to understand the whole ecosystem. All of them need collaboration. They have to understand technical tools. In today's world, 50% is your domain knowledge and 50% is technical knowledge. If you are not able to merge the two, if you are not able to marry the two, you cannot move further. And cyber security has faced music precisely because of that. It is basically left to a couple of IT people to run the cyber security mechanism, not realizing the fact that every single person who works for that organization is a cyber security threat. Every single person who is out there in the system can create havoc to a nature which you cannot imagine. So by way of ignorance or by way of excess knowledge or by way of criminal intent and a criminal motive or by way of governments getting into a huge drive or a overdrive of surveillance, I think this whole combination of it, it is certainly a threat to data protection, to our privacy, for normal business, critical infrastructure, national security, and I think every possible gamut of human existence. So the bad guys are smart, well equipped, and determined. There is absolutely no reason that the good guys can't be the same. So we have to change our strategy. We have to collaborate. We have to bring technical skills to the fore, understand the ecosystem, have clear-cut protocols, go into overdrive of security till the time we reach the first basic threshold of comfort level, of a level where we can say that we are reasonably secure. 100% security does not come. So if 100% security does not come, resilience is the next name of the game. So we should be a completely resilient digital society, digital economy. And with this, I end my lecture. Thanks a lot.